Well, welcome back to the In Good Company podcast, where we believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. And there's someone here that really doesn't need an introduction. If you have been in the Rochester area for even just a few years, there's a 99.9% chance that you have seen this guy. He has been making moves ever since I've known him, and even before then. He's one of those guys that's just infectious, from the fitness stuff that he's a part of to even just day-to-day life. I mean, he is one of those guys that you want to get behind, and you will follow him to the moon and back. Incredible guest that we have today. Without further ado, Vinny, my brother, how are you?
What is going on,
dude?
Mike?
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man.
The funny thing is, and I'll blame this on my admin support, even though I don't have one. We have booked probably 3 or 4 dates of when we were going to shoot this episode.
100%.
So, I feel like everything happens for a reason, though. We're in the new studio. The space is good. You're rocking your black shirt, which matches the backdrop. I mean, we are completely dialed in. So listen, for people that don't know your story, don't know kind of where you grew up, what do you do for work, just give us a little bit of a rundown.
How much time do we got, man?
Bro, listen, actually on the record, we have 3 hours available on our hard drive. So
here we go. I guess we're going to go on. First of all, kudos to you on this spot. So congratulations.
Appreciate it.
This place is amazing. Proud of what you're doing, and we appreciate what you're doing, brother. So
appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Wow, life story. Well, born and raised here in Rochester. Grew up in Greece.
All right.
Very typical Sicilian-style family growing up. Childhood was, I'd say, a little different in the respects of I was your overweight little meatball kid.
Okay.
So let's just get real, okay?
Sunday sauce every day for Vinny.
I mean, we were doing pasta, 6 times a day, 7 different ways. Right? Yeah. Loving family, but we were definitely not into sports. It was just more about just being around the table, right? And that's where we communicated. That's where we sat there and we talked about what was going on. Yeah. But it was always through food. Food was a huge component of being a Sicilian family. Okay, carbs heavy. Okay, a little protein, but carb heavy. Growing up, it was just I was that oddball, man. I was like the guy that just always just never fit in, right? Being that I was a meatball, I was never getting into sports, right? Yeah. And I always tried to hang out with the neighborhood kids. I always tried to be that guy that wanted to play basketball and try to get into soccer and football, and it just wasn't happening. It wasn't happening at all. Middle school was rough. Growing up with that then. Luckily, though, my Aunt Serafina at the time married her husband, Joe. So my Uncle Joe lived down in Long Island. And he owned a pizzeria. All right. He's also a bodybuilder.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, one summer, I go down to Long Island, and he gets me into the gym.
All right.
And we start working out. And he's also teaching me how to cook. So now I'm slinging pies, because you don't do pizzas in Long Island. You do pies.
All right.
All right. You get heroes, not subs. You gotta make sure you correct that. And he's just teaching me how to cook. And also we're going to the gym 6 o'clock in the morning. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, what? This is different, but I'm starting to dig it now, right? So that's kind of my first introduction into fitness, right? Literally at the end of the summer, crazy idea, but I'm like, I want to dye my hair blonde.
All right.
So now I'm tan, I'm blonde, and I dropped probably about 20 pounds. I get back to school.
The meatball has evolved, baby.
It is gone, right? It's like steak now.
Yeah.
Okay? Lean steak. I get back to school and nobody recognizes me. And I played off to where I'm speaking Italian. I'm an Italian exchange student right now.
Let's go.
Right? I'm just playing it out. Full card, full send. And then, I couldn't hold it in much longer, but they were like back then I was known by Enzo.
Okay.
My grandmother called me Enzo. My mom called me Enzo. I was Enzo for a long time.
Yep.
That was a cool ride. It was awesome. Then all of a sudden now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get into sports now. Now I started playing soccer. Got into basketball a little bit, but now I'm gym. I'm a gym rat. I want to get to the gym now.
All right.
Totally dedicated. Went through high school, played soccer, played football for one year. Senior year, I didn't know what to do with my life, right? I know I'm not college bound by any means. So all of a sudden I'm like, military. So my great grandfather served, and all of a sudden I'm getting this notion of okay, I know I want to be a cop. So how do I get to be a cop? So I'm not going through the academy, but I'm thinking military. 9/11 kicks off.
Wow.
So it was almost like this is what maybe I'm meant to do.
Hmm.
Talked to my recruiter, got set up. I want to be a military police officer. 9/11 goes. I signed up a week later. I'm off to boot camp.
Hmm.
Go to boot camp, and it's a different world. Now we're talking physical fitness it's military bound.
Wow.
Right? So now I'm running, I'm rucking, I'm doing all this crazy workouts, but I'm loving it. Like, this is what I'm made to do. Military was cool. It was it was a different experience, but now it took me to a different level of like discipline, commitment, dedication, right? Loyalty, personal courage. It was just a different mindset. When I came home, I was a different person.
Yep.
I went from the person that like was just trying to fit in to now I want to stand out. Now I have all of the fears dropped to the side, and I'm like, I'm going to do me.
Yeah.
I'm going to do me, and if you love it, ride with me on this, and if you don't, I got love for you,
Yeah.
but I'm going to go do me. I came home, and all of a sudden my cousin was working at PHA at the time, old gym out in, it was over at Winton Plaza, and he's like, dude, we got a couple spots for a personal trainer. You should come try out. And from that point, it just took off from there, man.
Dude, that's certainly a insanely powerful story. Thank you for your service as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
One of the things with your story, even from my perspective, is I of course didn't meet Meatball Vinny.
Yep.
But I got to kind of see the fruit of you really pursuing your passion, pursuing your dream. For someone that's listening that maybe is stuck in their meatball phase, so to speak, where maybe they're lacking purpose or they're listening to what everybody around them is telling them, what their parents have said, what their coaches or teachers have said over the years, and maybe they've just bought into that lie, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
What advice might you have that you wish you would have gotten when you were back in the day that could really maybe jumpstart them to pursue their passion?
I would say the number one thing is like, don't be scared to stand out. So for me, like when someone tells me like I can't do something, that fuels me, right? And it might not work for everybody, right?
Yeah.
But when you say you can't go do this, or you're not made to go do this, or this is not for you, that for me is just that fire that says, all right, watch me. I'm gonna show you what I can do, right? It's got to be this point where you have to give yourself an honest talk and say, is this what I want in my life? Is this the person that I want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? And if the answer is no, then that's the first step right there. Make that change.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, stay committed to that change.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what anybody else is going to say to you, right?
Yeah.
The haters are going to hate, right? But your support team that you have around you that you need, that's who you depend on. Because they're the ones that are going to sit there through the good times and the bad times.
Yeah.
But also that's going to be that extra level that you're going to need to be like, all right, I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen, but I want to make this work.
Yep.
And if you do that, everything else is going to be not easy, but it's going to keep getting you in that right direction though.
Yeah. People are going to talk. Give them something to talk about.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Come watch me.
Yeah. Which is great. I mean, that's the kind of attitude that's like, again, I think if you are dependent upon people's opinions, then that means that they are in control of your destiny.
100%.
And if you want control, and which, there's only so much control you can have with it, but if you really want control of your day-to-day, being able to put one foot in front of the other, you don't want other people holding those keys.
100%.
So talk about like, what do you actually do for work? Like today, like someone that doesn't know your story, obviously fitness, you started falling in love with it. Now, what do we got cooking? Well,
I am a happily gym owner. I think of myself more as just a personal trainer though, reality wise, right? Like, I've been doing this, and I'm going to age myself, but yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years now.
Let's go.
And I'm blessed to say that I don't have a job.
Yeah.
Because this is what I was made to do, right? And I've been lucky enough to do that for our community for 20 years now.
Yeah.
Right? And it's been a crazy ride, right?
Yeah.
And I've learned and I've grown through this experience, but like, I guess the biggest thing to take away from what I've been doing is like, I've been lucky enough to work with clients at all ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Right? I've worked with clients where like now I'm working with their kids.
Yeah, dude.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm working with people that like coming in off of day one, never worked out a day before. right? Scared.
Yep.
And I love when I hear this. Vinny, I want to work with you, but let me get into shape first.
Sure. Right? Oh, bro, we could spend 20 hours on that very topic. Yeah.
Like, I love that, right? But being a personal trainer, though, is like, this is my passion, yes, but this is just what I'm made to do, right? And to sit there and be able to work with somebody and take them from they have all these aches and pains, right? Yep. And now they can walk away feeling a little bit less pain.
Yeah.
And feeling more motivated, right? And be able to go play with the kids.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever their goals are, it doesn't make a difference to me because it's their goals.
Yeah.
Right. But being able to just look at someone, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a surgeon, right? Yeah. I'm not a therapist. I might have to wear that hat maybe during a couple of sessions. But to look at someone and see them transform.
Yeah.
Literally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, just through what I can help them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no words that can explain that feeling, bro.
It's incredible, man. Yeah, I want to sit in this for a second because one of the things for me, I mean, if you can't tell, you probably can't see it on the camera, but I am beyond jacked. So 100%. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Obviously, one of the things with me, I can put shoes on and go for a run and not think about it, not get overwhelmed. I mean, it's still a challenge, of course, but that's an easier thing for me. I've been able to do that. It's kind of a routine in my life.
Yes.
When it comes to the gym, bro, I get like, what is it? Analysis paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
I walk in and I can have like any little app that tells me what workouts to do. Like I can have all that stuff down, but I just hit this place of overwhelm. For people listening that are like me, that there is this true mental block. Like, bro, I can run, I can do like a bunch of other things, but I just simply can't get into this CrossFit or weight training, strength training. Like I just can't get into that level. What advice might you have for someone like me?
It's hard, right? And I hear this through so many consultations that it's like, all right, I used to do yoga and I used to do, I'm a runner now, but I got to get into this, but I'm nervous because you don't know, right? It's the fear of unknown, what you're going to experience, right? And it's hard, right? And unfortunately, there's no perfect blueprint method to get someone to feel more calm, cool, and collective into that training program. But for me, the way I look at it is like, again, I want to give myself an assessment. Where am I at physically? Okay. Am I happy where I'm at?
Yeah.
Realistically, just go one step at a time. The apps are great, right? And they're giving you a nice spreadsheet to work with, right? But the issue is I look at fitness like a language. Okay. If you don't understand the language, you're probably not going to get through that country without having some, troubles, right? So with fitness, learn the language. So get with a coach, get with a trainer, and let them help you learn this new language that you're just nervous to get into. You don't understand it. You're overwhelmed. You're going into a gym. There's equipment. There's dumbbells. There's kettlebells. What do I use? How do I use it, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to give people a sense of, come in. Let me help you. Let me teach you how to do this, right? Start to learn the new language. And then you feel more comfortable. And eventually at the end of the sessions, at the end of the program, now you could probably talk a little more fluently in this language now, right? And now that builds your confidence to be, okay, now I feel better about grabbing these weights.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're doing rather than just being like, okay, I'm going to watch this quick video. I'm going to read this spreadsheet that I don't even understand what these exercises are, right? I've heard of burpees. I don't really want to do the burpees, right? But what to do, that's the foundation that you have to learn first, though.
Yeah.
Right. Get that, and then everything else is good.
And I've got to imagine there are people, I feel like as you get older, you kind of get more set in your ways about, here's what I'm good at, here's what I know how to do, here's what I don't know how to do. So even when it comes to like just trying new things, it's like as you get in your late 20s, early 30s, and you just start getting older, it's like, well, I like to golf, or I don't like to golf, or I like to play euchre, or I don't like to play euchre. Like, but you're not really, for the most part, like going outside of your little comfort area. What do you do in those instances where people feel like they're just a little bit stuck in their ways? And again, I got to imagine there's people listening that are right there.
We're all like that, right?
For sure.
We get into a routine and we're comfortable in that routine, and that's where we want to stay, right?
Yep.
I want to wake up at 4 a.m. I want to do my little routine. I want to get my little corner at the gym. I got that one specific treadmill that I always have to use, right? And it's this rut that you get put into, but yet it's like you got to kind of get outside the comfort zone a little bit more, right? And just go. When we're in our 20s, we're all invincible.
Oh yeah, bro. I knew so much when I was 20.
Right?
Yeah.
We knew everything and we were all invincible, right? Then all of a sudden, one day you wake up and you're like 30 and everything hurts.
Yep.
Right? You're not just coming out of bed anymore. You're not just going in the car, getting out your backpack, jumping in the gym. Right now, you got to do like a 45-minute warm up. Yeah. Right? Just to feel at least 50% better before you start hitting the weights, right? And again, a lot of that is like, I wish somebody would have really schooled me back then to be like, look, you got to get a routine as far as just what's a warm up going to be like for you. It might be 5, 10, 15 minutes, right? You get yourself a balanced workout, right? So you got to get weight training. There's got to be a little cardio component, right? We're not talking about, I don't need you to run 6 miles in the morning, okay? Then go do a 2-hour weightlifting session, okay? It's not realistic, right? But there's got to be a perfect balance to what you're doing, right? Then all of a sudden now you start feeling better, you start moving better, right? But in our 20s and our 30s and our 40s, it's going to change, right? And it's okay. It's okay that you're not that same person that you were at 20, now at 30, right? Yeah. But you got to think like longevity. Yeah. Right? You got to think about the wear and tear you're putting on your body. Yeah. Okay? And objectively, like just from my personal goals right now, when I get into my later years, I don't want to have a crutch, a walker, an assistant, right? Yeah. So I want to be able to be pain-free, and I want to be able to enjoy my life, enjoy the retirement, enjoy those later years of our lives, right? And by doing that, it's get into a program now that's going to set you up for that. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what a typical like day in the life looks like at Revive. I mean, I think I have experience with you back in the Ruck House days where, it's full-blown CrossFit, Tuesday, Thursday mornings. I think we were there at like 5:30 in the morning, and you're just freaking screaming at me, and I can't, I'm yawning, I'm like still waking up, and you are, it is as if you just crushed like 5 straight Celsius. You're just like, I've been up all day, like let's crush. So it seems like Revive is a little different than that. But again, maybe compare the two. Like, and obviously I'm mentioning Ruck House, maybe you don't know what that is, but Vinny used to own Ruck House, obviously. Talk about kind of the day in the life of maybe Ruck House, and nothing wrong with it or whatever, but then now kind of what you're doing today.
Right. Ruck House was amazing, right? We were doing Tough Mudders, we were doing Spartan races. Like, Ruck House was a spot to, don't be average here. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Be above and beyond that. Right. And it was, again, like we're talking about in our 20s and our 30s. Right. So that portion of my life with Ruck House was like, we're going all in, all out. Let's go. Saddle up. It's going to be a rough ride today. Right. And then again, aches and pains start to come into the equation. Right. Your body doesn't feel good anymore. And for me, just on a personal level, like my body was just shutting down. COVID hit. Yeah. So for me, it was just like my body's not responding. How do I fix this now? Right. Recovery was a big sense for me. Right. And recovery, it went both ways. For me, it was, again, like we've talked about this before, but for me, it was coming off of my addiction. Yeah. Right. And for me, it was just, weaning myself off of these painkillers. Yeah. Backstory to that was just, from the military, when you go to sick call, okay, you get prescribed ibuprofen, and you get prescribed like anti-diarrhea medication. So like that's the 2 things you're getting basically, right? So I was hitting ibuprofen every day. Every day. I was probably doing anywhere from 1,000 to probably 3,000 milligrams every day. Wow. Like they were Tic Tacs. Yeah. So the reason I was doing all these races, I didn't feel anything, right? And it wasn't until I did an x-ray of my knee and I'm like bone on bone. Like it's bone in bone. Wow. And doc is like, I don't know how you're doing what you're doing, but like surgery is on its way and you're probably looking at a total knee replacement. Wow. And when he hit me with that, I was like, I gotta get off these medication. I gotta start weaning down. And then, by the grace of God, my wife came into the picture. And she literally saved my life. She was the catalyst for me to be like, get your stuff together, start coming off this medication.
Yep.
All right. But by doing that, then my body just started just breaking down more and more and more. And that's where I felt like, okay, I got to get right for her, but I also got to get right for myself and get recovery into my life both ways. So it was getting off the painkillers, but it was also now get more saunas, get more cold plunges, do more stretching, do more massage gun, get with a massage therapist.
Yeah.
Talk with, like, luckily, like, my wife is a doctor of physical therapy.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Right. That's my 401k right there.
Yeah.
So she's keeping me safe right now.
Yeah.
And listening to her and figuring out, like, okay, what can I do? This is how Revive really came to fruition.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just more of like, okay, we can still train hard.
Yeah.
But in a different way. So from the lighting, from the recovery aspect, from our flooring, you know, it's all a area to work your body, but not put the wear and tear on our joints.
Got it.
Right. So we went from, like, you know, flipping tires to just let's flip a kettlebell. Right. We went from, you know, burpees to let's just do some modified push-ups.
Sure.
Right. But with doing that, though, my body personally started to respond better. And I started feeling better. And I started getting more of that motivation back. And my why started to elevate again.
Yeah.
And then I became laser focused. My vision was clear. This is what we have to do.
It's awesome.
And that was it.
Dude, it's been so cool to see your journey unfold, because I think that there's, back to what we said earlier in the podcast, if our focus is about what other people are going to think about us, you may have hung on to Ruck House because you were nervous about what other people were going to think of you. If your identity wasn't secure in who you were, you could have stayed in there. You could have been trapped with painkillers. You could have been trapped with, like, this totally separate life.
Yeah.
But when you are secure in who you are, when you have a partner like the one that you have that is able to call you out of your crap and allow you to stand up in a different posture, it really does change the trajectory of your life.
100%.
And so for you to have stepped into something, I think for anyone that's listening that wants to pursue as an entrepreneur or a business owner, you actually built something out of a necessity to your own life. And then you invited other people into the journey, which again, I just think is a massive win. And there's no doubt that you're going to be successful as you continue to pursue that.
Thank you, bro.
When I think about, and this is just more of like a practical question, when I think about what you guys are doing at Revive, if someone like wants to get like jacked, like hit the gym, like really go for it, is that not the place for them? Like, because you're mentioning we have tires to kettlebells. I mean, are there still programs at Revive where it's like, bro, if you want to like weight lift and weight train, like you can, okay. Yeah. Talk about what your offerings are.
The secret when it comes to fitness, right, is that everyone's got circuit equipment, right? Everyone's using dumbbells, using kettlebells, right?
Yeah.
There's no magic in the equipment.
Yeah.
Right? It's how you write your programs.
Yeah.
Right? It's the structure on how you put your training together. Okay, that's the key. And every studio's got some equipment and they got some magic touch, right? But at the end of the day, though, it's the science behind how you write your programs.
Yeah.
Right? Do certain equipment work better for certain individuals? Absolutely, 100%. Right? But how we write the programs, how I write my programs, is by a split training program where, you know, one day we're going to go legs, one day we're going to go chest and back, right? It's a split routine, right?
Yeah.
But it gives you the time to adapt to the movements, understand how to use those tools, dumbbells, kettlebells, TRX, whatever.
Got it.
But you're now learning how to do the movements. Your body's going to respond better. And yes, you're going to grow. So you're going to increase that lean muscle mass. Your cardio is going to get better, right? We do 5-week training blocks.
Okay.
Why? Because every Monday, you're going to do the exact same routine.
Yeah.
And you're going to see your progressions. And you're going to see the weight start to increase. And your body's going to start to learn how to do those movements. There's nothing wrong if you go somewhere and you're doing a full body workout and it's randoms and it's here and there,
sure.
Right? Nothing wrong with that. But how do you know how your body's actually getting stronger?
Yeah.
Though, right? When you do personal training, that's what you do, right? So as I write a program for a client, I just do that, but in a group setting.
Got it.
So like everyone understands what movements they're doing. Now they see, okay, last week I did, you know, a 50-pound goblet squat.
Yeah.
Let's try 55 this week then, right?
Yeah.
All right, you did 12 reps. Awesome. Let's go a little higher with the weight, but let's drop the reps a little bit, right? And that's how you, and just my personal preference, that's how you see your body change.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, that's a game changer.
And the benefit of what I said earlier about I walk into a gym and I don't know where the hell to start. When you have a personal trainer that says, here's the program, everything, and that was one thing I remember from Ruck House. It's like everything was set up for us.
Right.
So it was like, oh, cool. Like you go stand here. I'm going to demonstrate how to do this. Timer's getting started. Here we go.
Let's go.
And so like, again, it takes the anxiety out, the thinking out, the, who cares what other people think of what I'm doing?
Exactly.
We're all in this hellhole together, and we gotta climb our way out.
We're gonna run this together.
Yeah, yeah. So again, I think that helps, especially for someone like me that's kind of in that spot. For someone that's listening right now that again maybe has a dream, or they do want to pursue this entrepreneurial thing, but maybe they're in a job where it feels like there's no way out, or they're in a previous business venture that didn't work out. So now they're kind of anxious or nervous about this next thing. What advice might you have for someone that's just they're just on the diving board. They're trying to get the courage to jump. They just don't know how to do it.
Honestly, I would say ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice? And I mean, really ask yourself that, right? Are you willing to sacrifice time with your family? Are you willing to sacrifice time with your family and friends? Are you willing to sacrifice your hobbies? Are you willing to sacrifice paychecks? Because all that's going to be up for grabs. And when you start your business, everyone has this, fairy tale, like it's going to be beautiful, right? I don't have to work for anybody. That's not true. Because when you open your business, especially if you have employees and associates, you work for like 20 people now. So instead of working for maybe 4 people at your corporate job, right? You open up your business, you have your associates, you answer to everybody.
Yeah.
And if you have clients, members, and customers, you answer to them as well. So it's like this, what are you willing to truly sacrifice? And if one of those questions you say, no, I'm not willing to sacrifice that, probably not the best route to go to. But if you're saying, yep, I'm going to do this, my vision is so clear on this job that I want to do. I'm going to open up this business and I'm going to dedicate the next 5 years to go kill it.
Yep.
Then that's you. Go get it. Don't worry about it. Go kill it.
Yeah.
But
love it.
You can't sacrifice.
Yeah. It's not fear, but it's a healthy amount of reverence for the decision.
100%.
Like you don't want to be scared of it, but there is like, hey, there's risk here.
Yes.
There's like this is a hard thing I'm about to do, right? It's counting the cost before you make that jump. I think that's brilliant. We do a part on the podcast called Fails of the Week. It's one of my favorite segments because it's very easy to see Revive and go like, oh yeah, freaking Vinny's jacked. He's a old military guy, like must be nice, easy for him. He eats good, he looks good, he's got a great looking family, whatever. But that's like that's the front facing stuff.
Yes.
Running a business is hard. Like figuring out, especially around COVID and all that stuff, like figuring out all that stuff. So whether it's this week or over the course of your business, what is that kind of one fail that could just be a funny story to share? And this could be something like, we were about to open Revive and 7 equipment pieces didn't arrive on time. And so, you know what I mean? But it's like just things that no one would ever know that could be a funny story to share.
Well, again, you have a vision, right? And you're like, okay, I got to do it this way. And my business partner, Dave's he's still going to kill me about this, but like, I just had a vision of how I wanted our walls to look.
Yeah.
Okay. And I wanted these, paintings to be on these walls, right?
Okay.
So when you went to our recovery rooms, like one room we have a phoenix, one room we have our logo, one room we had this, yoga elephant type of a situation. Okay. And I wanted the best guy to come in and paint these.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to pay for that.
All right.
And it cost a good chunk of change. And we ended up knocking down 2 of the walls that had these paintings on there. So again, money thrown away, but I had to have it, right? I just had it.
Yeah.
I didn't care, and honestly, I didn't even think about like, bro, just go do some vinyl graphics. Didn't have to be paint, right? But it looked good, right? And the clients were digging it when they came in, and then we knocked the wall down.
Oh,
So
the moment you said yoga elephant, maybe our listeners were thinking the same thing. I was trying to envision like an elephant on a yoga mat or something. So anyway,
That's awesome.
We'll have to find an old picture of that, but
I think I got one still.
I know the journey of that, bro. I mean, we are just new on this space on the physical side, but you think that, hey, this is going to be forever. And so let's do this or that. And then you grow and you got to expand. You got to change the flow. I mean, there's so many different things that come with that. What's one piece of equipment or maybe something kind of innovative that you guys feel like you've been diving into and revived that you feel like is like this really cutting edge kind of trend in 2025? Again, I know ice baths and red light therapy and like all that stuff, it really is continuing to gain momentum. And back to what you said about kind of being 3-5 years ahead. I mean, you've been banging that drum for probably about 3 to 5 years before. It's now just kind of hitting that Rochester mainstream kind of push. But anything else that you're kind of noticing or any new exciting things that might be coming up?
So I think like, again, where fitness is going, right, is our time is valuable.
Yeah.
Right? And we have to make whatever time, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, you got to make that count, right? Not everyone has the time to be, okay, I got 20 minutes to drive to the gym. I'm going to stay there for 90 minutes. I got 20 minutes to come back, take a shower. Like, most people just don't have that, right? So if you're coming in for a 45-minute workout, you got to make it work and you got to make it worth it.
Yeah.
So what I started doing is structuring the programming around like, okay, we're going to do 20 minutes of circuit training. We're going to do about 15 minutes of core movements. We're going to do a recovery. We're going to get my client into the sauna, get your 20 minutes in, quick 3 minutes in the plunge. That's your quote unquote prescription. So it's set. It's boom, boom, boom. You got your 45, you got your 60 minutes in, go to work. Go grab the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have the time to go do a 2-hour workout, awesome. Like, I love your life. I wish I could do that. Okay?
Yeah,
that's
sounds
amazing.
awesome.
Okay?
Yeah.
But the reality is we just don't have that. So the routine of our 5-week training programs is Monday, it's going to be a 45-minute training block.
Got it.
On Tuesday, we got a 60-minute training block. Wednesday, it's a 45-minute training block. And we follow that structure.
But sauna and cold plunge are built into that. Yeah, so like my brain goes, well, aren't you supposed to be grinding for, you know what I mean? Because the sauna feels like I'm just sitting there.
Right.
I'm not working out.
This is where a lot of misconceptions are getting told through. Again, social media is a big part of it, right? And you're getting this information, you're getting it from all different sources, right? The science is simple. In an infrared sauna, you're looking at 60 minutes a week. Total is what you're looking for.
Okay.
At a temperature between 155 to 165. That's what you're looking for. Okay. So if one day it's 15, 20 minutes, the next day you're getting in there for 15, 20 minutes, and then the next day you're doing about 20 minutes, awesome. Done. Is it a bonus if you can be in that sauna for 30, 45 minutes, 4 or 5 times a week? You are a lucky person, though. That's amazing. Okay. If you have one in the house, awesome. Right. Cold plunge, same thing. You're looking for 13 to 15 minutes a week at a temperature of 37 degrees to 39 degrees. Okay. That's it. So if
that's it, no big deal.
That's it. It's so funny too, because like everyone that does the cold plunge for the first time, it's amazing to watch. Okay. Because it's either like they come in with an attitude of like, oh, I got this. I got it, no problem. And I'm like, look, you might be in it for 30 seconds. Okay. And that's okay. Right. Oh, I got it, right? Let me close the door, we let them do their thing, and you can hear someone screaming. Because that water hits hard, and that's fight or flight right there.
I talked about this on a previous episode. I did that once, and we could talk about it another time because I'd already talked about it. I had to submerge for 10 seconds under. It was truly my nightmare. Brutal. I mean, bro, and I did it, but it was holy cow.
Yeah.
One of the things I've always been confused about, I have seen online, people will go from the freaking 170 degree sauna and then go immediately in the cold plunge or vice versa. Is that not like totally detrimental to your body?
Okay. So again,
that feels really scary.
Social media, okay, loves to do this.
Totally.
Okay. Here's the thing. If we're talking an infrared sauna,
right?
Okay. This is paneling. This is electrical heaters. Paneling,
right?
Okay, you go from that You get out, you give yourself about 5 to 8, 10 minutes to start to cool down a little bit, right? And then you go into the plunge.
Got it.
To go from the plunge back into that sauna is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Why? I'm just going to go with safety, okay? It's an electrical panel. They're not made to put the water back into those panels, okay? Now, if you're doing a dry sauna, and that's where like the steam rocks and things like that, cool, awesome, rock that out. But the infrared saunas, not a great idea. Now, you're also thinking about, you're in a cold plunge. You're doing that for, let's say, 3 to 5 minutes. You're getting out, right? You have to warm your body from the inside out. All you're doing is like you're a frozen burrito. You're popping yourself in the microwave, basically. Okay. What we do is I give you like a warm cup of water or a warm cup of tea to drink after the cold plunge.
Got it.
That starts to thermogenically start to warm your body from the inside out. It feels good, right? Don't get me wrong, right? You're getting out of the plunge. You're cold, right? I want to jump in the sauna. If you have a dry sauna, yes, awesome, cool. Infrared saunas, though, are not made for that, right?
Got it.
Your best bet is to get out, get some warm liquids in your body, and start to warm yourself up naturally like that. That's what you want to do.
Got it. Well, as we are about to conclude with our rapid fire hot seat questions, how can people work with you? What are some ways for, again, if people are kind of hearing your story for the first time, maybe they've heard some stuff today going like, dude, that sounds kind of like more my speed. Yeah. I got a trainer. I can kind of mix recovery and working out. Yeah. What are some ways for people to dive in and work with you guys? I
mean, just check out our website if you want to. Feel free to give me a call. My cell phone's around the website as well. Our email address is there too. So. Cool. We look forward to any way that you can contact us, and we'll get a hold of you. Yeah,
we'll put it in the show notes as well, so it'll be easy for you guys to see email, phone number, social media accounts, all that fun stuff. So rapid fire hot seat questions. These are 1 to 2 word, quick responses.
Oh boy.
You're supposed, like, this should feel like a sauna for you. This is sweaty. This is tough.
I'm nervous. Here we go.
All right, cool. So if you only had to pick one, cold plunge or sauna? Sauna, love it. Best fitness advice in 3 words or 1 sentence?
Stay committed, stay dedicated, and stay positive.
Boom. So committed, dedicated, positive. That was 3 words. You did it. If you could train any celebrity, past, present, whatever, who would it be?
Oh, I got to go 3 ways on this. So 1 would be The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
2 would be Kevin Hart.
Okay.
And 3 would be Orlando Bloom.
All right.
My wife's obsessed with him, and I want to just hammer him.
Love that. Love that. I like that last one. That's brilliant. Morning workout or late night grind?
Gotta go morning.
Yeah, understood. And then what is your go-to like post-workout meal that you're just like, gotta have it?
So if it's in the morning, like I love just going with like scrambled eggs, toast, avocado. It's late night, I'm going like steak, potatoes, hearty meal.
Cool. If you weren't running a gym, what would you be doing?
I'd be a chef.
Chef? I love that. Meatball making a comeback. That makes sense, dude.
I used to cook. I used to be a cook. So I'd go back to cooking.
And you were slinging pies. Yeah, love it. What is the craziest excuse that someone has given you for not showing up to a workout? There's got to be some great ones.
2 come to mind right off the bat. One of our girls, Meg, I got to get class going, and it's like 7 o'clock. She's still not here, so I'm waiting for a text message to come in, and all of a sudden I look at my phone, and she's like, "Don't be mad. I'm literally stuck in my garage. The power went out. I'm halfway out the garage. I can't get the car out. The power turned off at the apartment complex.
Oh my gosh.
And she's literally half the car out. She sent me a picture because she thought I wouldn't believe her. Love her for that. Second one was when I just started off being a trainer, actually. I got a client, and she's like calling me, and I'm missing every call. And finally she calls me, and I'm like, "Where are you?" And she's like, "I'm so sorry. You're not going to believe this. I hit a cop car."
Whoa.
And I'm like, "No way." And she sent me a picture to prove it. She backed into it. I don't even know how it happened. And I was like, "All right, well, I can get that. No problem, though." But,
oh, my gosh. Yeah, those are valid. Those are
valid excuses.
Those are valid, yeah. Well, I know there's a lot of fun things on the horizon. We'll kind of tease it in this episode, but great, exciting things to come. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the In Good Company podcast, where we believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. Anything else you want to share with the peeps before we bounce?
First, just again, thank you so much for having me, Mike. The place is amazing. Love what you're doing. Respect what you're doing, man. And the community definitely appreciates you. But yeah, I think we might have some things happening pretty soon that maybe we can touch base on.
Love it, man. Stay tuned. We'll have you back. Absolutely. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.